Welcome to our channel. And today we have a very special treat for you. Are you ready? Here we go. Once upon a time in a quiet little town nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling sea, there was a well-loved shop filled with all kinds of clocks. There were grandfather clocks that towered over you, cuckoo clocks that sang cheerful tunes, and even tiny clocks that you could carry in your pocket. But as time went by, fewer and fewer people stopped by the shop. The townspeople seemed to have forgotten all about it, leaving the shop dusty and quiet. One evening, though, just as the last rays of sunlight were fading away, a little girl named Mira peeked through the window. Now, Mira was no ordinary girl. She had a kind heart, a curious mind, and a deep love for all things magical. As she gazed into the dimly lit shop, she noticed something peculiar. The windows glowed faintly from within, as though someone or something was stirring in the darkness. Day after day, Mira couldn't shake off the image of those mysterious lights dancing in the window. Her imagination soared, wondering what secrets the shop held. Who could be inside at such a late hour? What could they possibly be doing? It became an unsolved puzzle that echoed in her thoughts, driving her curiosity to unravel it. Then one night, as the moon hung like a silver coin in the velvet sky, Mira decided to investigate. With the stealth of a shadow, she crept up to the shop, her heart pounding like a drum solo. Peeking through the window, she saw an old man fast asleep, his wrinkled hands resting on a workbench littered with clock parts. It was the Clockmaker, the enigmatic guardian of the shop. With bated breath, he continued to watch him, trying to decipher the mystery of the glowing clocks. Suddenly, the old man stirred. Startled, Mira quickly hid behind a nearby tree, her eyes wide with anticipation. As the man slowly rose, she strained to hear his next move, her whole body tensed with suspense. Slowly but surely, the old man began to move around, his steps creaking like the gears of an ancient clock. He ambled towards the workbench, his shadowed face etched with years of untold stories. With each passing moment, the enigma of the shop deepened, pulling Mira further into its mesmerizing spell. She watched as the man reached out, his gnarled hand hovering over a massive golden clock adorned with celestial patterns. Its surface shimmered, mirroring the moonlight streaming through the window. And in that instant, the gears within began to turn, the pendulum swinging rhythmically. The rhythmic tick-tock echoed in the silence, each sound resonating with a magical charm. As the old man approached the clock, a warm glow enveloped him, causing the dust particles dancing in the moonlight to form intricate patterns around him. His face, previously obscured by shadows, now held a gentle smile, his eyes twinkling with an otherworldly light. The sight was so enchanting that Mira couldn't help but gasp. Startled by the noise, the old man turned, his gaze fixed directly on Mira. For a moment their eyes met, and a knowing smile touched his lips. Mira, her heart pounding, cautiously stepped out from her hiding place, her eyes shining with a mix of wonder and fear. The old man, his gaze still gentle, beckoned to her with a finger. Hesitantly, Mira began to walk towards him, each step echoing in the cavernous space. As she drew closer, the scent of old books and distant lands filled her senses, hinting at the extraordinary mysteries that lay within the shop. When she finally stood before the old man, he gestured towards the massive golden clock again. It seemed to pulse with an inner light, inviting her to touch it. Mira, her curiosity overcoming her apprehension, reached out and gently caressed the clock's surface. In an instant, the world around her exploded into a kaleidoscope of colors. The shop vanished, replaced by a boundless expanse of swirling galaxies and twinkling stars. Before she could react, the old man was beside her, his form shimmering with an ethereal glow. As the dizziness subsided, Mira found herself in a place that defied the laws of gravity. Towering shelves laden with books floated above her, their pages whispering secrets on the wind. Mira gasped, her eyes wide with wonder as she realized she was in a magnificent library suspended high above a sea of fluffy white clouds. From afar, she could hear the soft murmur of voices, each word resonating with a magical charm that sent shivers down her spine. As she ventured deeper into the labyrinth of bookshelves, she noticed that each volume seemed to hum with an inner light, pulsing in perfect harmony with the rhythm of her own heartbeat. As she turned the weathered pages, the scent of old parchment mingled with the sweet fragrance of wildflowers, transporting her to a realm where imagination knew no bounds. Each book she opened revealed fantastical tales of valiant knights, mystical creatures, and enchanted lands. The words danced before her eyes, weaving spells of adventure and daring quests. And then she saw it, a book bound in emerald green leather with silver clasps. As she reached for it, the cover shimmered, and an ethereal voice whispered, "This is the Book of Courage." Embracing the whispers, Mira felt a surge of warmth and confidence envelop her. Suddenly, a whimsical sight caught her eye. A miniature train chugged along a track that snaked through the bookshelf, pulled by a team of squirrels dressed in miniature conductors' hats. Intrigued, she followed the track, each step taking her deeper into the heart of the floating library. At the end of the journey, she discovered a cozy cottage adorned with twinkling lights. Smoke curled invitingly from its chimney, promising warmth and comfort. As she approached, the door opened, revealing a kindly old gnome with a flowing white beard. "Welcome, Mira," he said with a warm smile. "I've been expecting you." He led her inside, and there amidst shelves laden with even more books sat a crackling fireplace, inviting them to rest. As the first tick echoed through the wondrous library, Mira realized it was time to return. With a heavy heart, she bid farewell to the gnome and the whispering books, carrying with her the newfound courage that resonated in her soul. Back in the familiar surroundings of the old shop, Mira found herself in a world that seemed both dreamlike and real. The air crackled with magic, and the scent of freshly baked cookies filled her senses. She soon realized that she was in a world entirely composed of sweets. Mountains of chocolate and caramel stretched as far as the eye could see, and rivers of flowing honey meandered through valleys of spun sugar. In the distance, she could see waterfalls made of melted chocolate cascading into crystal bowls, but the most enchanting sight awaited her up ahead. A group of merry creatures frolicked in the center of a clearing, their laughter echoing like wind chimes in the summer breeze. These candykins, as they called themselves, were a delightful blend of sweetness and whimsy. They had bodies shaped like lollipops, peppermint swirls, and gummy bears, and their eyes sparkled like sugar crystals. As Mira approached, one of the candykins, a gingerbread man with gumdrop buttons, skipped forward. "Welcome, Mira," he said, his voice like the tinkling of bells. "We've been waiting for you, Mira." Feeling a warmth spread through her, couldn't help but smile back. The joy radiating from the candykins was contagious, and she found herself swept up in their merriment. They led her to a magnificent gingerbread house adorned with icing and candy decorations. Inside, a table groaned under the weight of delectable treats, from towering chocolate cakes to mountains of macarons. As Mira savored the sweet delights, the candykins shared tales of their magical world, a place where laughter was as plentiful as sugar plums, and happiness flowed like molten chocolate. But as the afternoon wore on, Mira noticed a change in the atmosphere. The once merry candykins seemed listless, their laughter replaced by sighs. The vibrant colors of their world appeared dull, and the sweet scents had become cloying. Worried, Mira asked what had happened, and the candykins confided in her. It seemed that their happiness, which had always been boundless, had started to fade. They had indulged in nothing but sweets for so long that their joy had turned stale, like sugar left out in the rain. They had forgotten the taste of balance, the satisfaction of moderation. Touched by their plight, Mira knew she had to help. Drawing upon the wisdom she had gained from the floating library, she spoke to the Candykins about the importance of balance and the beauty of moderation. At first, they didn't understand, but as she explained how embracing the full spectrum of life's flavors could bring true happiness, their eyes widened with realization. Together, they embarked on a journey to rebalance their world. They used caramel to paint pictures of serene landscapes, sculpted mountains from marzipan, and molded chocolate into works of art. As they created, their laughter echoed once more, sweeter and more joyful than before. As the second tick marked the passing of time, Mira knew it was time to return. Saying her goodbyes, she carried with her the valuable lesson about balance, understanding that true joy lay in embracing life's full spectrum of emotions and experiences. Upon returning to the old shop, Mira found herself in a world that was eerily reversed. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows as if it were nighttime. The birds flew backwards in the sky, flapping their wings in reverse. Even the flowing river seemed to move uphill against the current. Startled by this sudden reversal of reality, Mira looked around, realizing that time itself was flowing in reverse. People greeted each other by saying goodbye, and conversations flowed in unexpected directions. As she walked down the street, she noticed a young girl skipping ahead of her parents, waving goodbye before saying hello. A dog barked furiously at its reflection in the window, mistaking its own image for an intruder. The world had turned upside down, defying all logic and reason. Lost in this topsy-turvy world, Mira stumbled upon an old woman sitting on a park bench. The woman was feeding pigeons, but instead of birdseed, she was scattering fish food, causing the birds to flutter away in confusion. Touched by the woman's bewilderment, Mira knelt beside her and offered a kind smile. In that moment, the old woman's face brightened, and she seemed to find solace in Mira's presence. Gently, Mira helped the old woman sort out her scattered belongings, returning order to the chaos that surrounded them. As she did, the old woman's cloudy eyes cleared, and a wave of recognition washed over her face. With a shaky voice, the old woman spoke, saying, "You're here to remind me of the preciousness of now, aren't you, child?" Mira nodded, her heart swelling with understanding. In that backward world, she realized that every moment, every interaction was a gift, a fleeting treasure to be cherished. The old woman, with a grateful smile, embraced Mira, imparting a lifetime of wisdom in that single, timeless embrace. As the third tick resonated through the air, Mira knew it was time to return. With a heavy heart, she bid farewell to the woman and the topsy-turvy world, carrying with her the profound realization that every second of now was a miracle. Stepping back into the old shop, Mira found herself bathed in the warm glow of dawn. The world outside had changed, yet she felt as though she had stepped into a new reality. Her heart brimmed with the wonders she had witnessed, and her eyes sparkled with the magic that now defined her world. The old man, his face etched with a knowing smile, appeared before her, his presence radiating warmth and wisdom. "Time didn't give you dreams, Mira," he said, his voice a gentle melody. "You gave them meaning." Tears of joy welled up in Mira's eyes as she embraced the old man, her heart overflowing with gratitude. She had discovered not just the magic within the clocks, but the magic that resided in her own ability to find wonder and meaning in every moment. Hand in hand, they walked out of the shop together as the sun painted the sky with hues of pink and gold. Mira waved goodbye, her steps echoing with newfound confidence, and as she turned to go, she heard the faint chime of the golden clock. Each tick seemed to echo the rhythm of her own heartbeat, a reminder of the magic that now pulsed within her soul. So if you ever find yourself in a town with a forgotten clock shop, and if you hear the gentle chime of an ancient clock, know that within its ticking lies the promise of adventure, the whisper of dreams, and the magic that awaits those who dare to listen. Thank you for joining us on this enchanting journey. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, may your days be filled with wonder and your nights with sweet dreams.